Coffee, beverage brewed from the roasted and ground seeds of the tropical evergreen coffee plants of African origin. Coffee is one of the three most popular beverages in the world, alongside water and tea, and one of the most profitable international commodities. Though coffee is the basis for an endless array of beverages, its popularity is mainly attributed to its invigorating effect, which is produced by caffeine, an alkaloid present in coffee. Two species of coffee plants, Coffea arabica and C. canephora, supply almost all of the world's consumption. Arabica is considered a milder and more flavorful and aromatic brew than Robusta, the main variety of C. canephora. The flatter and more elongated Arabica bean is more widespread than Robusta but more delicate and vulnerable to pests, requiring a cool subtropical climate. Arabica must grow at higher elevations, 2,000 to 6,500 feet, 600–2,000 meters. It needs a lot of moisture, and it has fairly specific shade requirements. Latin America, Eastern Africa, Asia, and Arabia are leading producers of Arabica coffee. The rounder, more convex Robusta bean, as its name suggests, is hardier and can grow at lower altitudes, from sea level to 2,000 feet. Robusta coffee is cheaper to produce, has twice the caffeine content of Arabica, and is typically the bean of choice for inexpensive commercial coffee brands. Western and Central Africa, Southeast Asia, and Brazil are major producers of Robusta coffee. Wild coffee plants, probably from Keffa, Ethiopia, were taken to southern Arabia and placed under cultivation in the 15th century. One of many legends about the discovery of coffee is that of Kaldi, an Arab goatherd who was puzzled by the strange antics of his flock. About 850 CE, Kaldi supposedly sampled the berries of the evergreen bush on which the goats were feeding and, on experiencing a sense of exhilaration, proclaimed his discovery to the world. Whatever the actual origin of coffee, its stimulating effect undoubtedly made it popular. Ironically, though Islamic authorities pronounced the drink intoxicating and therefore prohibited by the Quran, many Muslims were attracted to the beverage as a substitute for alcohol, also prohibited by the Quran. Despite the threat of severe penalties, coffee drinking spread rapidly among Arabs and their neighbors and even gave rise to a new social and cultural entity, the coffee house. Coffee was introduced into one European country after another throughout the 16th and 17th centuries. Many accounts are recorded of its prohibition or approval as a religious, political, and medical potion. By the end of the 17th century, coffee houses were flourishing across Britain, the British colonies in America, and continental Europe. Until the close of the 17th century, the world's limited supply of coffee was obtained almost entirely from the province of Yemen in southern Arabia. But, with the increasing popularity of the beverage, propagation of the plant spread rapidly to Java and other islands of the Indonesian archipelago in the 17th century and to the Americas in the 18th century. Coffee cultivation was started in the Hawaiian Islands. By the 20th century, the greatest concentration of production was centered in the Western Hemisphere, particularly Brazil. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, industrial roasting and grinding machines came into use, vacuum-sealed containers were invented for ground roasts, and decaffeination methods for green coffee beans were developed. After 1950, the production of instant coffee was perfected, which led to increased production of the cheaper Robusta beans in Africa. Coffee consumption has been associated with various health benefits and health risks. In general, moderate consumption, amounting to 3 or 4 cups daily, is linked to a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes mellitus, liver cancer, and Parkinson's disease. Research has also linked moderate coffee consumption to a longer lifespan. Excessive coffee consumption can cause sleep disturbances, anxiety, jittery sensations, and heartburn. Studies conducted in the 20th century suggested a causative link between coffee and cancer. In 2016, however, the World Health Organization, WHO, removed coffee from the list of possible carcinogens because multiple studies had debunked a possible causative association between coffee consumption and cancer. Thanks for watching.